amigos! Welcome to today's MUKBANG. For today's MUKBANG, it's a Christmas theme because we have äppelskiva, which is apple slices, I guess you would translate it to.
Like
it's Danish pancakes, and on top of it, it's a Danish tradition food. We put, what do you call this? Powdered sugar on top.
It's not cocaine.
Like so. Then I think it's supposed to represent snow or something. I don't know. Then we have a vegetable pizza right here. It's not vegan, there's cheese in it.
Vegetarian.
Yeah, it's vegetarian. This is for the äppelskiva, by the way. It's supposed to be just normal, you know, jam, but this is cherry jam, which is usually
Danish.
Yeah, it's Danish, but it's
sauce.
for this rice porridge, not for äppelskiva. Then we have chips, and then Mama has wings and what other part?
No, it's just chicken wings.
Oh, chicken wings. And then we have homemade pickles made by Mama.
Yay.
I'm gonna dip it.
This right first?
Yeah. Look at that beauty. Okay.
Oh, I'll try the pizza first. Ooh. What?
Guys, äppelskiva, it might look like just regular ball pancakes. It's not. It has a different taste to it. It's like cinnamony, cardamom, right? OMG.
The pizza we
I
heated
missed this.
in our microwave. The convection mode, so it's like an oven.
If you guys ever come to Denmark,
Yeah.
during Christmas season, you have to try äppelskiva. It's a must when you're in Denmark.
Is it yummy with the sauce?
It's a bit sour. Let's try the pizza. Long time no pizza. Oh, actually not, because the other day we ate out and there was pizza. Yeah, but it wasn't yummy.
Last week.
Yeah, I know. But I mean at home. There's pesto. It's a bit. It lacks salt.
Oh? You want salt?
No.
These pickles, guys, I didn't make it sour. I put vinegar, but
Guys, mozzarella hits different when you haven't had cheese.
we had Greek yogurt last night.
Oh yeah. By the way, I know you guys are gonna say, I thought you were vegan. I'm not really vegan, I'm vegetarian. Even though I actually shouldn't have dairy. I don't crave meat, so I don't eat it. I will eat it if I like get sick like before and I crave meat. I got amoeba before and I got so hungry and I wanted to eat eggs all the time.
And she wasn't feeling full.
Yeah.
When she was eating vegan, and even when you were eating meat, but it was a little bit better.
OMG.
So you can't really be dogmatic when you're sick. Like, for example, if you get cancer, like if I get cancer, I would do water fast. Even if that's so far from what I usually do.
From your personality.
Yeah. You have to do what you have to do.
Mama made the pickled broccoli a few years ago.
Oh,
and I loved it. I told you it's too spicy. And I loved it, and I hate broccoli, but when you pickle it, try it guys, it's so good. I hate broccoli, hate. But when you pickle it, oh, more and more crime shows are coming out. When you see all of these crime shows on Netflix, you think,
rice.
Oh, you think rice?
Yeah.
You think, OMG, it really isn't safe out there. You know, you start thinking that, especially if you live in a very, like, if you live in a very safe country, you think, I'm immune to that. That doesn't happen here, you know. But that's something everyone thinks. I feel like everyone has that feeling. Oh, it's not gonna happen to me. It's not gonna happen to me ever. It's gonna happen to other people, but not me, because I'm careful, you know. And if you live in a sketchy area, then obviously you're afraid, and I would understand. If you go on Netflix and you look at crime shows, it's all American shows, sadly. But then there is a few, because Denmark and Sweden, I don't know, Norway, maybe Norway too, they do love making crime shows. And it's like their thing to do crime shows. And when people talk about
Sweden,
yeah, I was looking on Netflix and I found this show called Into the Deep, and it's about this Danish engineer who created a submarine, and that story freaked me out so much that I started googling how many.
It's a documentary.
I was googling how many serial killers are in Denmark. I just wanted to know if I should be afraid, or you know. And I googled it, and I only found like 13. 13 serial killers in Denmark.
5.
No, 13. Like in Denmark. And this is like, one was in 1800s, and then one was in 1902. We weren't even alive back then. And back then, life was different. And I'm sure this 13, it's more than 13 if you count like every killer, you know. But these are the popular ones. And when you Google USA killers, it's alphabetical order, and it's never ending. I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I mean, I knew there was a lot, and the country is big, you know, but I was still scared when I looked at that list. It didn't end.
Is that from the beginning, 13 only? No,
not from the beginning of time, but that has been recorded.
Oh.
And it's the popular one. It's the popular one. And meanwhile, in the US, it's so long. And then I compared to Sweden, it was only like 10.
Less.
Yeah. When you Google serial killers in Denmark, the first person that will pop up is this Peter guy. You shouldn't be hyping up the names of the serial killers because they want to be famous, you know. But then again, it's also good to know what's out there, so you can avoid it.
Don't go out after 6. Even though it's safe here.
Just stay inside. So this guy, he killed very close, I mean in Copenhagen, and we are in Copenhagen area. And he killed in the Copenhagen area, which makes it scarier. And when I was reading his story, I was like, OMG. And I googled him for so long. And then I also googled more of the Into the Deep guy, whose name is also Peter, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't his name Peter? Yes. I don't know why it's 2 Peters. That submarine guy, I already told Mama, but it's a scary story. Basically, just don't become a journalist. Just don't become a journalist.
And don't be a woman.
And don't be a woman. Because what he did is, if you guys can watch it on Netflix, but he did horrible things to her before killing her. And then pretended that he just left her somewhere on shore, so she could go home, because she went into the submarine to interview him, you know, that was the deal.
That's so weird he did that.
Yeah, and then when he came out of the boat, because they were missing for longer than they should, and they were gone for longer than they should have, and he was like, oh, I just, you know, dropped her off. And people were very suspicious from the start, and I'm glad they were. This is a huge difference, Mama. When you look between American, or not even just American, I don't want to hate on just the US, but other countries, they tend to just dismiss things like this. They're like, no, he didn't kill it, and then kill her, and then they just let the killer be, and you know, wait for his next move. But then if you wait, then they're gonna kill again, you know. But what the police did, they got him straight away, which is good, because he was planning on bringing more women into the submarine. And you know, they have so many cases in the US, and then they are very, I mean, Americans say this all the time, they're very dismissive. the police, so they don't look into things that they should, and then they look into things they shouldn't. You know, it's like the opposite. But the thing here is like what happened in Fields, the shooting. The police came straight away, wearing with their pajamas. You know, some of them were off duty and they still went. So they, you know, take action. They just do it rather than waiting, and then things will get worse.
You can't really blame the cops there, because in some states you're not allowed to just do some action. You have to wait for the politicians, or the politicians tell them be careful.
Yeah, but like what happened with Damer, this was in the 90s, so obviously it was different, and everyone were racist back then, and nobody listened to,
I meant in the States.
Yeah, nobody listened to any of the victims. But that's one thing here. That's why we feel so much safer, because we know that
they solve crimes right away. And of course it's also because it's a small country, but Sweden is bigger and they still do it there.
Yeah.
You have a good life here. The standard of living is very high, so why would you risk it? Like, especially if you're a criminal, you would be very careful, because why miss everything? Even though Danish prisons are much better than other countries' prison, but you're still risking your freedom.
This other dude, Peter Lundin, he's scary. I think he's dead. I don't know. No, he's alive.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's alive. He's serving his life sentence. But most people know him here in Denmark. He's very, very popular because he went on the news. Like, they interviewed him while he was in prison.
Small pizza, see?
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot.
He was born here in Denmark, but they moved to the US. I was confused before. I thought he just visited for a really short time. I actually have notes.
How old was he?
Yeah, that's 9. He was 9 years old. Moved to the US at 9. And then, so he was, like, I mean, when you're 9 and you move, I guess you will still remember your time in Denmark, but he was young. So maybe you will, you know, because when I moved to the Philippines at 12, like, now when I think back to Sweden, it's like a dream. So I don't know, 9, that's even younger. So he moved to the US. He grew up there for a bit, and I feel bad for the mom, because the mom, both Peter and the dad were violent to her.
Oh.
And this is something I was so shocked when I read this, because I thought,
what do you mean violent?
You know, hitting. I was so shocked because I thought only Peter killed her. But only he did.
Oh yeah, you said.
Yeah, I don't want to say like the specifics of what he did, because I don't know if it's no essay. But she couldn't breathe, basically.
Ooh.
And so she died, and then the dad helped him bring the mom to the beach and buried her in the beach.
What?
In the US. This was in the US. And the dad is cuckoo too, you know, for doing that. But I didn't know he was in on it.
Was the dad there while he was killing the mom? Oy.
And so, because they were very violent towards her, and it's so sad because neighbors had called. And this is what I mean when I say, like, if this was in Denmark, and let's say we said to the police, oh, the neighbor is beating their, you know, the wife or whatever, police would come, you know, and if they see bruises, they would arrest the guy and then restraining order or something. Nothing happened. The police came. Nothing. They did nothing, which is so bizarre.
Yes. You don't even, the victim doesn't even need to report the thing, as long as somebody else would say. Even if she would like deny it, that's the law here.
You can't risk it. And you know, before this, he was like selling drugs to his classmates in school. He was doing
drugs.
Yeah, he was doing.
Was he on drugs?
Marijuana. That's it. That's legal now, so it's okay to say.
That's nothing.
But he was doing the other things too.
Okay.
Coca-Cola, but not Coca-Cola. So he was doing coke, and then he was doing a bunch of other stuff, and he was selling it. So it's double crime. You can't, you know, it's illegal, right, to do Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought they were that lax. Okay, so he was on drugs too. But that doesn't excuse anything, obviously.
No, but it accelerates it.
Yeah. So after that, they flew. They escaped to Canada, and they thought they could escape to Canada and just get you know, escape all of this and not have to do time. But they did. Yeah.
The son?
Yeah.
Ooh.
They went to Canada trying to escape, but the police did find them. And the dad went to prison, and the kid, Peter went to prison.
The American cops.
In the US, yeah, they were in the, they went back to the US because I don't know what kind of citizenship they had, because
how come they were able to go to the
because they were put in jail in the US. But I know that happens in other countries. Like if you commit a crime in a country, you stay in that jail, then they ship you to your country, they deport you, and then you have to serve time in your country. It's like double. But for them, they were in jail. So Peter, he was in jail. He was supposed to be in jail for like 20 years or something, but because it was overcrowded in the jail
in the States,
yeah, they had to release him.
What?
He got deported back to Denmark.
What
It's
year
like
was
7 years, 1990s, in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And then around 1999, something like that, he got deported to Denmark. His dad got deported back to Denmark earlier because he only served, because he was only an accomplice. He didn't do the killing, but I mean, I think if that happened now, it would be a much longer sentence, because in the US you get life. Right? If you take a life, you get a life. Isn't it like that? Most of the time? Especially if it's
on your lawyer,
I guess. But they weren't rich.
How were they able to go to the States?
Because back in the day, it was so easy because of US Army. He was gonna go to the US Army, and you know, because it's easier to get citizenship or something. I forgot. And then you can keep your Danish citizenship.
Yeah.
Unlike in Canada, at least in that time, you couldn't keep it. So that's why they did it. Anyways, during the time he was in jail, Mama, she was in the US.
Yeah.
You got interviewed by the Danish TV.
What? Who?
Peter. And then a Swedish psychiatrist diagnosed him. And you know how when psychopaths, there's like a scale out of 40, how bad of a psychopath you are. He got a 39.
What?
And so,
but that's not a disease.
No, but you know, he diagnosed him on TV. I don't know if he did it on TV, but he saw it on TV or something. Anyways, when he did the interview, he did half blackface.
What did?
You know, blackface, but half. I don't think it has anything to do with race. The reason why he did it is because he was portraying like good and evil. But then again, it sounds racist because he means the black side is bad.
But it's always.
But yeah, I don't think it was something with race. But anyways,
he killed someone else, right?
Yeah. So after this, okay, you would think. So this is one thing. He got back to Denmark, 1999 something. And then when he got here, you would think Danish police would be like, oh, okay, let's put him in jail. Let's not let him out, you know, because he killed someone in the US. Why let him roam? And usually Danish police is good with that, you know, keeping the bad guys away. Not with him. He got here, and they were like, let him go. He got escorted by 4 American cops all the way here
from the States,
but the police didn't, you know, arrest him.
Yeah, because you would need to go to court.
Yeah, but he's not a safe dude.
No. So they just let him go. You said something like
they just wanted to make sure he didn't escape during the travel. They just wanted him to get to Denmark. But he got here, not even 6 months later, he killed. So he could have, if they put him in jail, you know, it could have gone a lot better. And he actually did have a wife. Yeah, when he got married, like while in jail or something.
But that's always what they do, right? Like cover.
Yeah, and he got here, and the wife has a daughter, and he would always argue with them, so he got kicked out of the apartment. Thankfully, they didn't die.
They survived?
Yeah.
Oy.
They probably have so much PTSD now, thinking about what could have happened if they didn't kick him out. He got kicked out and he lived in the men's, you know, we always bike guys around in Copenhagen and in Nørrebro. There's this place called the men's house.
Shelter. It's a shelter.
Yeah, he lived there.
How come he's there? He was there. Oh, because he didn't have money?
And you know, we always bike around that area, and I know he's not there now, but now thinking about the fact that we were just that's scary. And he went to a brothel. Isn't it like an old word?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never hear it now. So, but anyways, he went
especially here it's legal.
Yeah, he went to one of those places, and if you don't know, in those places there's entertainment for adults.
For gentlemen.
Gentlemen's club. Is it not also for girls? Is there men there doing entertainment?
No.
Met a woman, Marianne, I think. Maybe it's Baka. Maybe it's like Marianne, I don't know, because it's Danish. And they, you know, became a thing. She had 2 sons.
Oh, 2 sons.
They lived in a house. In this house, we have also biked in front of this house.
What?
Which is scary.
We bike everywhere.
Yeah, and it's scary because it all happened in Copenhagen, and so you know.
I think the longest time we biked one way is 2 hours or something.
I wonder if
so we bike everywhere.
Do you think anyone like bought the house?
Ew.
Oh, anyways.
They keep things like that sacred, like
yeah.
in
even anywhere,
house,
like anywhere in the world, they would never say.
In every house and every apartment, I think there's a secret, and you don't discover until you're in it.
That's the good thing if you build your own house. Marianne had a stepson who was older, and the stepson was calling her and the 2 sons, and they weren't picking up. Yeah, basically I have 3 sons, I guess, but one is a stepson, an older stepson, and so he couldn't contact her, and so he went to the house, and there was nobody there, but he noticed like everything was all over the place, was messy, and it was a weird smell. It's not a good sign if you go into somebody's house and there's a weird smell and they're not there, then you know. And the police came. And they figured it all out. The bodies weren't there, but basically Peter had killed Marianne and the 2 sons and had
cut them.
Yeah. And then that's why they weren't there anymore, because he had thrown them in the garbage.
Oy.
And then you know, here in Denmark, he didn't clean that well. You know, here in Denmark they burn the garbage to create energy.
Heat.
Yeah, and so it's called fjernvarme. It's a bit creepy to think about that. Oh my goodness.
And then you get it in your radiators at home, and
It's
there's
a bit
water inside, and it
like you don't know if it could be people. And so anyways, so they never found the bodies, but they found the DNA all over the place, and there's just no way that they would be alive. It's not possible. Also scary because he bought the supplies in Glostrup. And you know, we always go on that train in Glostrup before when we had work in Copenhagen. Oh my goodness, and we would always, you know, we would always go by the station in Glostrup. And that's where he bought the stuff. And that's why it's so scary, because everything he did, it's all over the places we've been to. Usually you hear cases in the US and I've never been there, so you're like, it doesn't sound that, it sounds scary, but it's scarier if you've been to the place.
You know the house?
Yeah,
we should bike there.
No. It might be haunted or something.
No, just you know, show it to me, the house.
Okay. So you know not to go in there. And his lawyer, you know, I don't know, lawyers who defend killers,
they will go to hell.
You know, I know everyone has the right to have a lawyer, but it just, it's so odd that you would defend a killer, and then also not only that, but give them a shorter sentence too.
Yeah, and especially when they confess to you.
Yes, because they will tell you everything. Because the lawyer always say, "Oh, tell me everything so I can help you," right? And then they tell everything, and the lawyer still defends them. I don't know how they do it. The lawyer was able to like shorten his life sentence.
I thought he's in for life.
Yeah, he is in for life, but in the beginning, because they said, oh, it wasn't premeditated. Yeah, and the police was, and the lawyer said, oh, it's not premeditated. When it's premeditated, you get a longer sentence, right? But they because he said, oh, it was messy the way he did it. It wasn't organized, so it wasn't premeditated.
But then maybe it's just clumsy and stupid.
But he's still a danger to society. He came back to Denmark, and not even 6 months later he killed. So if they release him, he could do it all over again to some innocent.
So how come
people.
he got a life sentence?
But then they changed it.
You usually don't get a life sentence
oh,
here
it's
in Denmark.
So rare. It's
or
rare.
Sweden or Norway. Usually, even if you kill someone, it's like just for some years.
Because they want to rehabilitate the killers, which often does work. Like in Norway, they have the lowest return rate of the criminals to the jail. So it is working, but not for the very, very evil ones like these two Peters. Both of them have life in jail, and they wanted
the submarine Peter. Did he also cut?
What he did, I feel like, is worse.
The submarine one?
Because there was torture.
Oh,
I feel like that's worse. Obviously, both are so horrible.
Not
and
just torture, the other one.
and the two, obviously with the Peter half black face guy, was horrible too, because it was two kids, you know, and his own mom, and then the woman Marianne. So you know, it's both are horrible. The submarine Peter freaked me out a bit more, because he was planning on doing more of it. That's why after I read all of this, I was like, okay, so I mean, when at first I was scared, because I was thinking, OMG, there's people like that here. That sounds like something from a horror movie, and you wouldn't really think that things like that happen here.
They will think your viewers will think we're in Utopia.
But you know, I mean, when it comes to crime, basically, nothing happens here.
No. But here, it's more exciting here than in Denmark.
We are in Denmark.
In Sweden. In Sweden, nothing happens unless you live in Malmö,
which I guess is good.
Yeah. Unless, you know, I don't like this brand so much. The one we bought before was yummier. But anyways, in Sweden, unless you live in Malmö, if you say you want to live in Malmö, then in Sweden, then they will say, no, there's ghetto there, crime is happening. The Danes would say that. And that's so weird, because every time we go there, it's so peaceful. But they say, oh, it happens during the night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel that.
That's why we should always be very safe. And, you know, don't just trust people on the streets. And also, even new friends, like, don't just be careful. Trust your instincts.
Usually it's someone you know. Wherever you are, it's like someone you know. Like that Peter with
often here it's people you know too, like every case except one where she was a nurse and she gave the patients too much drugs and killed them.
Here? When? Oh, like nurse Nightingale.
I don't know. She didn't get.
Yeah, but you still know that.
She didn't get lifetime.
That person if she's your nurse.
Yeah, I guess. So just stay inside.
No, I mean like a stranger.
Yeah, it's very rare that it's just like a random person. I had a classmate when I was younger, and she was very fascinated with ants and operating on them. And
How do you operate on an ant?
You don't. She took the ants and she would slice them in half and then do Frankenstein and like, you know, put it on another. Yeah. Meanwhile, I was like giving them food. And I was so grossed out by it. And so, you know, even in that's a very small thing. I don't think she turned into a killer, but she was a school classmate, she wasn't a close classmate,
schoolmate.
like just a schoolmate. I don't even know her name, but it was just like a girl in school. Okay. And she was known for cutting up ants. And so, you know, maybe that's not a big thing. Maybe she turned out okay, but and she was like 10 or something. But you know,
it's like when I'm in the bathroom and there's a fly. Yeah, I become happy when I catch it or you kill it with a zapper. But that's because hygiene.
But you do that just because they're in the house. You don't go out, find the bugs.
Oh, no. I don't do that.
That's when, you know, so I feel like, obviously I'm not a mom, so what would I know? But I feel like if your kids start acting odd, like wanting to hurt living creatures, there's something wrong. I feel like it could be prevented. I mean, they're not evil from birth. No. But they could be predisposed to stuff. And so I feel like if you get them help and don't expose them
in the
to
end,
weird,
it's still your choice to
act
on it.
I know. I mean, parents could do everything right and then they still turn out bizarre.
Because you have free will. You have.
I know, but
choice
I feel like it could help still if people act on it early. Maybe they could control. They would still have the thoughts, but control it. You know,
I mean, there's
like
so many people who thinks of killing people
and don't do it.
And they don't do it. They still tell you they want to do it, but they don't act on it. They don't want to risk going to jail or being ashamed. You know, lots of people are just controlling themselves. They should like distract themselves with other things like hobbies, praying.
I feel like because I mean everyone has dark thoughts. Obviously their dark thoughts are more extreme. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's mukbang. Don't trust anyone. Just be careful. And
make your own pickles. I also
make your own pickles.
I also made soy yogurt that was really successful, but Maria didn't like it, so I put it in the fridge.
I mean, it was okay. It tastes like rice porridge.
I mean, so I
Mama's
put it in
made
the
a lot
freezer.
of food lately.
Yeah, I'm now making coconut yogurt, and it's still not done yet. It smells and tastes like yogurt.
Subscribe if you want, like if you want,
comment.
And Scorpion White is she's retired, guys. Okay.
It's because of my diabetes. It's so hard for me to film, and we don't have the ASMR microphone anymore. Editing is stressful.
Like keeping up with the whole channel. Like
comments and comments. Sorry.
But she's still on this channel. So I know she's still here. Thanks for watching, guys. Gracias por ver. Adiós, amigos. Adiós.